Welcome to the channel. This is going to be my review opinion piece on Ironheart, the new Disney Plus offering that has just dropped. They dropped the first three episodes. There's only six in total, so there'll be another three um, next week, next Tuesday. I only have seen three, and sorry, but they are not good. Someone who's seen all six said that the sixth episode is actually quite good. So I guess I'm gonna have to hang around and watch this show to get to that episode. Yeah, the show is boring. It doesn't make any sense. The acting is poor. The action is poor. Everything is poor. This is a badly done rap video released as a TV show. That's what it is. Um, And that's too bad because there are some sparks in this show that you see that has potential, that Riri Williams' character has potential. And if somebody who gave a shit about Marvel or superhero movies or somebody even remotely competent was put in charge of the show and did the writing, this actually could have been good. And that's the big shame of it. It is dog shit. Sorry. Um, I'll go into a few more details here. There are spoilers. So let's start with the cast. The cast is funny because they talk about being put in a box, and Riri doesn't want to be put in a box by going through the traditional route to get her invention sorry recognized. So she'd rather steal money to get that to happen. Okay, great. Um, but the cast is forgettable. I don't know if any of them can even act. Well, that's not true because some of them there are some in the show that aren't too bad. And really, I don't to be fair to them, I think they were just given such dog shit material or garbage to work with that nobody, not even Robert De Niro, could make anything out of this show. But the cast is extras in YouTube video, extras in a music video, TikTokers. I don't know how to describe them, but they spend all their time posing and quipping and wandering around doing nothing in really nice outfits, and it's just horrible. You have Riri Williams, main character. Um, you have her best friend who is killed and gets resurrected as an AI. And that is so stupid how that happens. Riri's got a couple of probes on her head. She wants to rewrite the AI. She falls asleep and wakes up, and her friend is magically recreated as the AI for her suit. Okay. But at least that actress is not actually too bad. Does the part pretty well, although she starts off by calling her bitch. Again, it's like, really? Okay, whatever. Um, you have the main villain who's not very scary. There are some hints that he's being manipulated or dealing with somebody more malevolent in the background, but you never see him. You see a cloak that magically allows him to transport around. Okay, whatever. Um, you have the explosive expert who again dances around, quips, poses. They're all posers in this, but you never see her actually really preparing for anything. It just magically blows up when the script needs it to blow up, whatever it is. You have a pair of bare knuckles twins. They're both supposed to be the muscle. The fight scenes in this are garbage. Nobody with any kind of experience or background in staging fight scenes in movies and TV was involved in this, I would say. If so, they were, I don't know, checked out for the cash. But the fight scenes are garbage. Yeah, women can beat the shit out of men. There's plenty of videos on YouTube showing MMA trained boxers, females beating the crap out of some asshole that thinks they're smarter than or better or tougher than them. So it's not unplausible what happens, but the fight scenes are just garbage. They knock people out in weird situations in one shot and they're dancing around and it's just horrible. Then you have the trans character. So this project was delayed so long it must have happened during the DEI and they thought, okay, well, how do we do the DEI thing? Well, okay, we got a lot of uh, cast members we can throw in there. Let's throw in a drag person. So have the drag person. And of course, Luckily, they're not in a dress and a big beehive hairdo or whatever, but still wandering around sort of all giddy or all dutied up in stuff. And it's laughable. There's a scene where they're supposed to be hacking something and they have these giant goddamn nails on. And it's ridiculous. They can't even type on the keyboard and it's so obvious to it. It is just again horrible. Um, But yeah, so that's the crew, and they have to all have nicknames. They can't use their normal names. In fact, one guy insists on being called by his nickname. They are the crew. That's how they get addressed. But basically, they sit around doing nothing. There's a scene where Riri gets, it's in one of the trailers. She's in an elevator and she's given a certain amount of time to get out or she'll be suffocated. And they're all sit in the background like they're watching YouTube videos and reacting and sitting there going, "Oh, well, yeah, she's done this and whatever." And they're all posing and during this. Oh, it's just so bad. So bad. The cast and what they're given to work with. The story again makes no sense. We got Riri, so they fall back on how she was portrayed in Wakanda Forever, that she's selling homework to people there. Apparently, they're not smart enough, even though they're in MIT, to do it on their own, or don't see the value in doing it. So she's getting money that way because she's selfish, and that's all she cares about. She spends a lot of time whining about Tony Stark and what his advantages were. He came from a billionaire. Not that he was smart, not that he pushed anything, but he was just given everything. So she gets caught. She's in uh, dragged into the office. There's a lady there that's trying to explain to her why she's what she's done is wrong. And anyways, they bounce her out, and she's shocked that she gets bounced for doing all these bad things or doing this selling off homework and stuff. So she leaves, walks down to the lab. She's being allowed to take her stuff home, and she gets into her suit. She does have a functioning suit. It assembles itself like Iron Man's Tony Stark's did in Iron Man 3, and she flies away. Tell me in what universe, if you had a functioning Iron Man suit, Iron Person suit, if you want to change it to that, Iron Heart suit that flies and is fully operational, that you couldn't get 1,000 companies beating your door down to get you to come work for them. But oh, she didn't want to, or whatever. Some of them, it just makes no sense. So she flies from MIT, which I believe is in Boston, over to Chicago, where she's from, crashes it, pieces go everywhere, but apparently she picks up enough and walks home with them that she can reassemble the suit. Okay. She's doing it in her mother's apartment. Okay. She she says that at one point she says that there's it's the suit's solar powered. She doesn't have somebody mentions that she doesn't have a little reactor like Tony Stark did. Oh, it's solar powered. What? Okay. Um, but she needs all these parts. She meets a guy who happens to be the villain from Iron Man 1, Obadiah Stane or whatever. He's some younger Stane, and he doesn't want to be his dad. And he helps her out. He's at least an interesting actor. I've seen him before in something, but I can't remember what it was. Um, but yeah, at least he's interesting. And she kind of warms to him and maybe will work with him because everybody else is posing and everything. But Riri, again, this is a spark that the show could have been so much better with somebody competent running it and writing it. There's some glimpses that of an actress inside Riri's character and some glimpses of what could have been. She does start to realize because she magically creates a new AI when she steals the suit from MIT and is flying it home. There's like this. I think it's an ode to Microsoft and Excel. There used to be this little paperclip AI assistant that popped up and was very annoying, and people immediately turned it off. Well, she's got this pencil thing, and it's annoying, and until it locks her out of the suit, which is why she crashes. Um, it's just annoying. So she wants to do a new AI. She's doing something with the suit where she puts where she puts a couple of probes on her head, falls asleep. Magically in the morning, there's her friend, manifests itself as the AI, calls her a bitch, which is okay. Would an AI do that? Whatever. But she's actually almost the character itself. And her mother, Riri's mother, says at one point to her, because she sees her, doesn't necessarily freak her out that much, but oh, she's so much like the original. Okay. Well, apparently this friend and her stepdad were gunned down in a drive-by shooting, and that's why Riri locks up a few times when there's, I don't know, situations that call for it in the script to make the script work. Even the AI bot kind of freezes. And that's the one actress that seems it kind of does okay. Again, it's a crap character in that she has to be calling her bitch and stuff like that. Again, being a Gen Z TikTok star. But yeah, so they help the bad guy with a couple of robberies. The robberies don't necessarily make sense. The bad guy, uh, with his magic cloak, appears beside the CEO of this woman CEO who has this company that's going to create a subway underneath Chicago streets so the rich people can avoid traffic. And he demands that she sign over half the company to him, which she does. Okay. The next day, you get your lawyer say you were coerced up by a criminal and stop it. But okay, that never happens. In the end, the big scene at the end, they go to this guy who's interested in plants. Even though he's a rich asshole, he's not horrible. So they try to coerce him. He knows the bad guy. Um, he gets killed. So that's it. Okay. Somebody triggers a fire alarm by mistake. The system locks everything down, it's pumping CO2 in to put out the fire. That's going to kill everybody. Um, yeah, it's Riri's trying to get a piece off this famous cloak to analyze it. Don't know what she thinks she's going to accomplish doing that, but okay. And at the very end, her the one guy with the knives at the start gets killed. He kind of figures out that Riri's not on their side necessarily, but she doesn't kill him, but she doesn't rescue him either. She locks him in an area where he dies from CO2, which may come back and bite her in the ass, but everybody else gets away. And makes no sense how that happened. But okay, whatever. So you see the villain calling out to whoever his master is, to appear. So that's probably what's going to happen in the last three episodes. But yeah, its story doesn't necessarily make sense. Doesn't make sense what Riri does. Um, doesn't make sense what the crew does. What everybody's got to have their nickname. Villain's not very scary. The family doesn't seem too upset that she got kicked out. The AI doesn't seem to make too much sense. The fight scenes are garbage. Yeah, it's not a good show. You will not be missing anything if you miss this show. So there you go. That's my 2 cents.